Oh, we are back. Y'all, this is the Savon Experience, a closer look, and we've got a new episode for you. Shaquansha girl, how you doing?
I'm doing well. How you doing? Like, how your week been? What's been going on? How you feeling? All of that.
You sure you good, girl? Because your energy seemed kind of low. Like, what's going on?
Well, so if you really want to know, and if y'all really want to know what's wrong with me, this bitch done came in here with a plate, and she didn't bring me none. See, girl, you try to have these skinny girl ways with these fat girl tendencies. Why you didn't bring me a motherfucking plate?
Did you just get here? So, why you didn't get you something to eat before you got here? I told you that I was making me something to eat when you called me and told me you were on your way.
Okay, so you still ask a bitch if she wants something? Ooh, okay, girl, let me get off of it. Anyway, how was your week?
It was good until just now. I done got cussed out and stuff. Like, girl, really? Calm down. Calm down. So listen, y'all, thank you so much for tuning in again to the Savon Experience podcast. Closer look, and we about to get started.
I mean, I'm still mad at you to get me nothing to eat. Oh, is that my phone? Oh, shit.
Um, ooh. Oh, that's all we got. That's all we doing, cause girl, we gotta get it started. We gotta get it started. Need a bite. Let me just hold on for a second. It's ASMR. Mm, mm, mm.
Missy, I oughta smack that shit out your motherfucking hand. Ugh, you get on my nerve. Disgusting.
Mm. I mean, girl, I ain't ate since this morning, but let me get my stuff together so I can be professional. You know, I'm professional.
Please do that.
All right, girl. So we back. Shaquansha, listen, last week was cute. Thank you so much for coming through again. I appreciate it.
Girl, you know I got you. I always got you when you ain't got no other friends to come do this shit with you. So I got you, girl. We had a good show last week. We really did. I mean, we talked about your youthful days. Girl, you and them bell-bottom pants. Girl, I'm still trying to picture you in them bell-bottom pants. Your little first crush on that little boy, your little friend's boyfriend or whatever, girl. You was giving us very much side chick tendency then.
It wasn't a side chick at all or side dude. I just told you that the first. Anyway, I'm not recapping. So, what we doing this week? I mean, Shaquansha, so you didn't really tell us about you. You didn't tell us what you was going through and what was your usefulness was like.
I mean, girl, that was on purpose. This show is called The Savon Experience, a closer look. Not the Shaquansha show. So, bitch, out my business. You chose to get on here and tell everybody your business. I'm not telling all my business. So, I'm just coming to help you out.
Oh, so you think I'm telling my business? You don't think that the closer look? Because last week you was like the closer look, the closer look. You wanted all the tidbits. Now I'm telling my business.
Exactly. You telling your business. I'm not telling my business. Shit. Y'all never know where them bodies is buried, girl.
You forget I do know what some of my buried.
I mean, and I know what some of yours are buried, so bitch, even swap is no swindle. Don't do too much, girl. We both gonna be in prison by ourselves in a prison. maximum security together.
Girl, I don't. Anyway, so, a closer look. Yes, we did. To recap, y'all, if you are listening to this podcast, thank you so much for joining us. You can find us on Spotify, Pandora, Beaker. Girl, I'm trying to get on Apple Podcasts, but them hoes is like, listen, you ain't cute enough yet. You know what I'm saying? But if you guys put me in the Savon Experience podcast in your search browser, it'll come up. You can find me on anchor.fm. I mean, just, you know, you here, so you obviously found me, but I just wanted you to know, you know, where else you can find me.
I mean, I was sitting here wondering why you was telling people how to find you, and they are already here. Like, bitch, if they're listening, they found you. Was that like an infomercial plug or something like? Because they found you. They found you. But anyway, girl, let's move on because you doing all this damn rambling. So let's continue. I want to continue on. So I was asked a question this week because someone heard the show and they wanted to get a little bit more on your business.
Okay, so you ain't said nothing about that. Who was it? Who who was it?
Girl, a good reporter never reveals her sources. Just know they want to know more. They want an even closer look.
Okay, so I let's get into it. What was the question?
So they talked about, well, you talked about last week you realizing when you walked on the other side of hell. Heaven, um being interested in little boys. But have you ever been interested in girls? I can't say women because at that age you shouldn't have been interested in women. You should have been interested in a little girl.
Yeah, girl, we've had this conversation.
I know, but they've not had this conversation, so act like I don't know.
Oh, okay. So yeah, I so let's pick back up. So in the last episode, we talked about how I transferred to the new school. It was a culture shock, all that good stuff. So there was a girl that went to school, and we not saying names. We not gonna do that. But there was a girl that went to school, and she had a little crush on me. So, she had expressed her interest for quite some time. I'm gonna say almost a year. She expressed her interest, and so you know, I, uh, we ended up dating. Yeah, when I was 17.
So wait, you weren't messing with boys, and you weren't messing with girls, and you said she was at you for like a whole year. So I mean, was she like a lesbian or something?
Oh, I mean, at that time, Shaquansha, I wasn't like transitioning.
But girl, you ain't never been masculine, so I feel like if any little bald headed little girl wanted you, girl, she had to have some tendencies in women because you was never like the buff, brawny type. You were very much sister, bro, sister, sissy.
Bitch, I hate you. I mean, you're right. I wasn't the most masculine.
At all. You wasn't the most, you weren't even a little bit masculine, girl. Like, all was missing it out of your sachet was some heels.
Anyway, so I wasn't masculine, but I was cute. Shit. To be honest with you, I mean, male version of me looked like my daddy, and my daddy, the women like my daddy, and he could sing and he could do all those things. So quite naturally, the traits will come down. And then, of course, as female, I'm giving you very much my mama, who's also a baddie, and my granny, who's also a baddie. So it get you one. Maybe you should get you one that can do both.
I don't need all that. I ain't coming home to somebody walking around in my heels and sachets and my wigs and shit. I got enough looking at your broke ass with they never.
Okay, girl. So anyway, w- move it along. You're getting a little too hyper. Are you sure you want some of this chicken? I got some chicken. You want some chicken?
It looked burnt. It looked like it's been overcooked and it looked a little dry.
Oh, well, I'm glad I didn't make it appetizing for you, girl. But hold on. Let me get it back. Girl, I'm sorry, but mm, I ain't ate in a long time. It was this morning. But anyway, so yes, back to your question. I did. I'm not gonna say her name. We gonna call what can we call her? Girl Factor. So Girl Factor I met when I was 16 and she moved next door to me.
Oh, wait. So you dated your neighbor? Really? The girl, literally the girl next door. You are so good. You are such a cliche.
I mean, she lived next door. I wasn't going after her first, so it wasn't like I was looking for the girl next door. She just happened to be the girl next door. And she was real, quiet, kind of, drawn into herself, didn't really have a whole lot of friends. I think she had a brother and a little sister, or maybe I think it was one little sister and she was the oldest, and she had a brother and a sister. And her little sister and my sister were friends. And her mom was real cool. She was real like, hip for her age, always stylish, real cool. And yeah, I mean, when she started going to the school, we was at the bus stop. So you know how I am. I'm the welcoming committee.
Yep, you never meet any strangers. You always, as what we say, bringing stragglers. So she was a she was a straggler.
No, she was a new student at the school, Miss Ma'am. She was a new student, and Mama's always like, get to know your neighbors, be nice. So I became the damn welcoming committee. And, she was just you could tell she was shy. You could tell she kind of was like real um what's the best way to say it? Like she was real homely, just reserved.
So in other words, bitch, you had a black Laura Ingalls.
I didn't say she was black. So you gonna let me tell the story or
My bad, my bad. She couldn't be a black Laura Ingalls, if I recall correctly.
nope, nope, don't do that. Let it go. So she, was withdrawn. So I was talking to her and introducing her to people and make sure she found her way around the school. And if she need anything, you know how I am. I'm real nice. I don't meet strangers. Very selective, but don't meet strangers. All my friends was real, welcoming, but you could tell that she was one of those people that, she you can tell she had like I don't want to say that.
Go on and say it because speak your truth. Because I think you're going to learn something about yourself when you say it.
I mean, she was one of those people. Oh, bitch, what you mean I'm gonna learn something about myself?
Go ahead. Go ahead. Keep on talking.
She was one of those people that was shy. I'm gonna say shy. So she didn't really talk to a lot of people, but she was real cool and she was, and so everybody wasn't as welcoming because her presentation, her aesthetic was a little dated. I mean, we were in like I graduated in 95 as a senior. So I was like a junior when I met her. So there was like 93, 94, and she had a Jerry curl still. I mean,
Like I said, Laura Ingalls ish. The black version. So she had a Jerry curl. Was it a Jerry curl? Or was it a California curl? Was it a leisure curl? Was it a wave nouveau?
I'm gonna say probably more of a wave nouveau. You so shady. Oh my gosh, Shaquansha. It was more of a wave nouveau. And she had the whole her hairstyle reminded me of the way that my auntie wore her Jerry curl. My mama had more style with her Jerry curl because I think she still had one then. Nope, no, she didn't. She got rid of her curl. But so she was giving you that, and everybody kind of like looked at her like, "What the fuck is going on? Why is she? I mean, what in the hell?" And I was real nice too, and they was like, "Tony, oop, bitch, there we go, give them dropping government names."
Bitch, and you ain't even had a drink. You sure, girl? You sure you want to keep on, girl? Because you protecting her, but bitch, you dropping your name.
Girl, it's cool. But they was like, "I think she like you," and I was like, "No, she ain't got no friends, y'all. She cool. You don't do that." Everybody wanted to tease me because she was not in the in crowd, and nor was I. I was not a part of the cool kids. I was just friends with everybody. I was that one that could maneuver in all circles, but chose not to. I like the underdogs. That's what I liked. I like the people that was kind of doing their own thing. They wasn't, out here trying to be the cheerleader, the jock, the hell. I didn't even want you to be captain of the chess club or debate committee. Like I didn't want all that. Just regular people who move in stealth mode. Like my friends, they something today. They may not have been like the the most the most shit, what am I trying to say? They wasn't like the most popular, but they definitely was not unpopular. Everybody knew who they were. So we was in the crowd for the most part. So they teased me about being friends with her, and they was like, "Oh, that's your girlfriend," blah blah blah. Now I don't know why they said that because they knew, honey, I walk with a sachet Shantae, and I was like, surely to God, she's not interested in me. I mean, girl, she's a hetero woman, I would think.
But you was being real nice to Laura Ingalls. And you know how it is when those Laura Ingalls, church girls be coming out the house for the first time or being cooped up. And somebody say hi and smile and they ready to give you the cooch.
Well, she wasn't a church girl. Uh, First of all, her mama was not a hooligan or anything, but Sunday wasn't what they church wasn't what it was on Sunday. It didn't happen that way. Or choir practice, yeah. I was in church more.
Girl, please hurry up and finish eating. We're not trying to hear this shit out. Be professional. You want a bite? You want a bite?
Are you asking me if I want to bite of my own food? Why you got my fork? You gonna take my plate? Okay.
I mean, girl, let's just move this over here so you can stay focused, okay? So, continue to tell us about Laura Ingalls. I mean, well, her name is going to be Laura Ingalls on this show. Continue to tell us about Laura Ingalls.
Well, anyway, Laura Ingalls. She, kept wanting to be friendly and all the other stuff, and I was like, no, we cool, just be friends. And then she was just like be looking at me in the back of it. If I thinking back on it now, what if she hears this?
I mean, well, hopefully she over that shit right by now. I mean, girl.
I don't know. She 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 kind of became, I would think, a little obsessed quickly, is what I would say. Um, but there were things at work that I didn't know. So anyway, eventually we connected and we started dating. And it wasn't like we went to prom together, and it wasn't like, if I mean, everybody kind of knew we were dating. It just wasn't nothing that was talked about because one, they were probably like, they're dating.
No, they were like, she dating a punk. And when she gonna find out?
Okay. So, well, anyway, so we're dating and we're talking, we'll be getting close. And then I was a 17-year-old kid. So, I may have been thinking with my lower extremities more so than my other head.
Oh, so, well, if we think back on the conversation we had last week, you were a bit mannish. So the things that you were doing. And we didn't get into that, but I think we need to go back to that after we get through your nastiness here. But I can see that because you real fast, like.
I'm not fast like, I mean, my first boyfriend was when I was the age of 21.
But was that your first sexual experience?
It wasn't my first sexual experience.
So who was your first sexual experience with?
It was with the one we talking about right now. Yeah, that's who it.
Oh, so Laura Ingalls. Oh, so continue. Just continue.
So anyway, we started dating and hanging out and after school hanging out, doing homework, just the little regular stuff. And then she was going to the school and she was doing things. I mean, just life just continued. We would talk on the phone, we would talk outside. I would work because I was working. So when I wasn't working, we would hang out. In school, I mean, we hung out, we would hang out. It wasn't like we ate lunch together. We didn't have any classes together. She was older than me, so I think she was about to graduate. And so, ooh, yeah, she she was about to graduate. So, she was focusing on her thing and then she would work. Did she work? Did she work? It's crazy because I don't remember spending a whole lot of time together, but I'm pretty sure we did. Cause okay, yeah, I'm sure pretty sure we did.
I mean, you don't have to spend a whole lot of time together getting them good done daddies to get them cakes. So it seems like you eventually got them cakes. So how did you maneuver through that? What was that like being a gay woman?
Mm, a gay woman. You got jokes. So it just kind of happened, and the way it happened, see, this is gonna be the first time some people hear this. So, mom, I'm hoping you're not listening to this podcast.
Mm, I mean, you ain't too old to get your ass whooped. You sure you want to go there? I mean, it is a closer look.
I don't know, but we're gonna push through it. I'm gonna put my big girl drawers on.
Yeah, and take them boxes off.
Anyway, girl. So, we had a date night. We always had date nights. We would watch TV, blah blah. This mama would be like, "Something y'all gotta stay in the same room with me." So here we are, one night, the night of the deed. We were watching TV in my mama's room and just sitting. We were sitting on the floor, chit chat, talking. Mama was up in her bed, girl. She done fell asleep, girl. Well, I decided that I wanted to get a little busy, so I get to kissing and rubbing and touching, and I wanted to shit. I wanted to see what Miss Two Wally was like. You know what I'm saying? What she down there doing? What's she looking like? You know what I'm saying? And she was all for it.
So clearly, Laura Ingalls been down this road before. Were you her first?
I doubt it. I, no, I don't think I was at all.
Why you say it like that?
It just didn't feel like I was her first.
Well, how does one feel when it's their first?
I mean, so most people when it's their first time, it can be kind of uncomfortable, things of that nature. She pretty much her womb welcomed me.
Oh, okay, so you're not really all that big then. You was just little because you didn't do much for her.
Um, I wouldn't say that, but I would say I mean, I don't know. Shit. I wasn't comparing dinglings at that time, girl. I don't know. Hell.
That's what they say when they're small.
Anyway, girl. So, w- we kind of played around and I took them drawers down. I took them drawers down. And as soon as I took them drawers down, there was this cloud of powder.
Powder! Girl, you ain't told me this far. Wait a minute. So, a cloud of powder? Was it dust, dirt? What was it?
It was baby powder.
So, wait.
This was the 90s.
I know. It wasn't the 80s. It was the 90s.
Yeah, 93.
So, baby powder?
Yeah, baby powder.
So her two wallet was covered in baby powder.
Yeah, it was fresh. She was a girl that put baby powder on after her shower. She always smelled real good.
Like baby powder.
Move forward, Shaquansha. Move forward.
Okay, so after the dust cleared, what happened?
The dust clear. You so goddamn. You ignorant. Did anybody tell you how ignorant you are?
I mean, I've been told a few things. Continue.
Okay, so we move forward and I decided that I wanted to see what it felt like. I mean, and so I did. And baby, it ain't last long. It was good for me, but I don't think it was good for her because it was over as soon as I crossed the walls, the gates, the womb, the barriers, all of that.
Trial McGraw. That's about what I thought. I figured you would have been a quickie.
It was my first time.
You obviously wasn't practicing.
I practiced quite a bit.
Mm.
Oh, okay.
I mean, ask her. Did she enjoy herself?
I'm pretty sure she didn't enjoy herself. I think she just enjoyed the fact that we made a step towards being closer in her eyes. I think that solidified some things because looking back, I definitely have a different perception of things at the time. And I was just a horny kid. So I did what I did.
So you ain't feel nothing for her at all? Like, ooh, Savon, girl.
No, no, I didn't say that. I didn't say that. But to say that, like, I feel like she was more in than I was. Anyway, it happened.
Wait, back up. You ain't gonna skip past that. It happened.
Yeah, it happened.
And where was y'all at?
So messy. Oh, you so messy. I told you where I was at.
No, you told me that you was in your mama's room because y'all was watching TV and your mama was on the bed sleeping. So where was you at?
Right there.
Right where?
Right there.
In other words, in your mama's room. So you lost your virginity in your mama's room while she on the bed sleep. You just so goddamn trifling.
Listen, I ain't never said, I ain't never been what about it. No, I ain't never said that it was appropriate. You asked a question. You asked me where was it? You asked me when did it happen, and I answered your question.
But you really didn't. You kind of walked around. I walked back into that nasty ass powder filled room where y'all had y'all moment of desperation.
Moment of desperation. Why would you say that? I mean, I took the opportunity. We both were into it. We both wanted it, and it was skeet, 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 skeet. And it wasn't even long. It was probably a few thrusts for pumps. That's about it. Cause it just felt so good. Like she felt really. This is graphic. Okay, content is for people 18 and older. I should have put that warning up. I'll make sure that I have it noted as such.
Mm-hmm. You probably should have with your little nasty self.
Don't go through the judgment like this is the first time you hearing about this.
I mean, it was the first time I heard about the powder in your mama's room. She didn't wake up from all that powder choking. If you thrusting, it's probably creating a damn cloud of smoke. Poof, 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 poof.
Sh- I don't. I don't even know why. It wasn't like that. It was really good. She was. You could tell she was into it because, she was doing her thing and moaning and all that other stuff.
And she probably was pissed as soon as it was over after your quick draw McGraw ass let it all out.
Yep. I let it all out. And she caught it. And afterwards, I was like, oh shit. I ain't even look back to see if mama don't woke up or not because it was quiet. It was like, ooh, 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 ooh. It probably wasn't even that because we was trying to get away with it. And we did. Mama has never said nothing, so I think we got away with it because I feel like she would have whooped my ass if, you know, if she would have if we would got away. So anyway, it happened and she went home and, you know, it was a moment. It was a moment. I was like, this is cool.
So, was you thinking about boys when you did it?
Nope, I wasn't. I was very much in the experience. I very much appreciated her and everything she had to offer.
I mean, that sounds real lesbian like. You a whole woman. I mean, you may have been covered with, like, the beard of Jesus at the time, but you was a whole woman, and you ain't there just pumping on that girl like that, just giving us your whole lesbianic moment.
I don't think lesbianic is the word.
It is today. Y'all was lesbians in there. Spiritually, y'all was lesbians. She was having an experience with a whole woman on the inside, and she didn't even know it.
It's probably a bunch of women out there today having these lesbianic moments, as you say, who don't know because they man ain't said nothing.
But she should have known. I mean, you were in stealth mode, girl. Everybody knew you was gonna come out. You was a tambourine player.
I didn't play the tambourine in the choir.
Details.
Anyway, so it happened, and then the next day we talked about it, and my mom had always said, listen, we've had a very we have a very open and honest relationship with each other.
And apparently disrespectful because he was in her room with her.
Move on. Move on, Shaquasha. Move on.
Moving on.
So me and my mom had a discussion the next day because I was like, listen, we had when she and when old girl and I, decided to date.
You can say it. Laura Ingalls.
When she and I decided to date, um, mom was like, listen, whenever you get to the point where you're ready, let's talk about it. Let's make sure you have protection. Let's go, shopping because I want to make sure you protect yourself, etc.
Mm-hmm.
And so the next day, we had a conversation. I was telling her, hey, I'm ready.
Bitch, you had already did the deal. You supposed to have that conversation the day before.
I didn't realize it was gonna happen that night. It wasn't like I planned it. However, she was there, I was there, it was there, we were there. It was seems like you're ready. And so we went on into it. And so me and my mama, we went shopping for contraceptives, condoms.
You say contraceptives like you went on birth control, bitch. You went out looking for condoms. Let's call a duck a duck.
Girl, everybody just ain't hood like you.
And everybody ain't as whatever you are as you.
So anyway, we went ahead and got condom shopping, and I picked up some. What did I get? I got some. Well, it doesn't matter what I got.
No, tell us, what did you get?
I got it's what's the name of that brand that I got? It's in the gray packaging.
Girl, why you described it like you ain't seen a condom in years? Was it Trojan?
It wasn't Trojan. It was anyway, we got some condoms. And so we started using those when we started, and girl, because it was on and popped in. Listen, once that first time happened, baby, I wasn't gonna be quick draw McGraw again. And we had to make sure we prep because I didn't want her to show up with all that goddamn baby magic powder down there because girl, I wanted to make sure she was good.
So you wanted to please Laura Ingalls. You wanted to go in and raise up her floral long dress and play into the field of prairies.
Uh, Shaquasha.
What?
Anyway, so we had a good old time. And so then we had to go back to the store to get, more condoms. Cause I was like, first of all, I know my mama, she probably counting them. And I want to make sure I keep a box that she bought to where it's got the number of the same ones in there so she can think I'm not doing nothing. Because even though she was acting like she was cool with it, she still very much knows Ella. She still knows it. So I know she was checking. And so I got another box. And when I got the box, I thought I got the same ones, but they were a little different. So the last so, I wanted to make sure.
Wait, I just thought of something. Hold up. So you said the next day after you guys had your experience into the donut powder fields, you guys went condom shopping. So are you telling me that the first time you had sex with her, you went in raw dog?
You don't have to be as detailed about everything.
This is the closer look. So we want to take a closer look and see if you had any protection on it.
Nope, no protection. It wasn't supposed to happen. So it happened and, so it happened.
Very quickly. Did you have time to pull out?
That's none of your business.
I'll take that as a no.
To answer your question and for everyone, because this is a closer look. No, I did not. I mean, I didn't know about no pull-out game, girl. I was in it. And once it started, I was like, shit, it's finna stop. But I do remember us talking about it because I walked her home.
You walked her next door. You said walk her home like bitch you was being romantic and shit and you drove and walked her a mile away for a couple blocks of the road. Bitch, you walked her next door. You went across the driveway.
And walked her to her door. That's what I did. And she was like, "It's okay, whatever happens, we gonna be okay, we did nothing wrong, blah, blah, blah."
And I just, what you mean y'all did nothing wrong? What do she could be having a whole person developing in her. What does she mean?
That shocked me too. I was really like, "Wait, what?" I mean, I wasn't gonna be like a fuck boy and be like, "Oh my god, is she pregnant, bitch? It ain't my child." Like, it wasn't gonna be that. I was more concerned about getting my ass whooped, literally. I was concerned about my mama finding out and beating the holy hell out of me is what I was afraid of.
But not afraid enough to not do it on the floor in her room. That makes a lot of sense.
It is what it is. See, this is why I talked about. So, if any of you guys have followed me for a long time, there's a video I did on YouTube that's called Ding Ding Conflict and Ding Ding Remorse. In that moment, that night, nothing mattered. I wanted what I wanted. I was going to get it. She was offering it up. So, mama could have probably woke up and started beating me with a belt, and I probably would have still stayed in because I wanted it that bad.
And you nasty. That's what it is. Just call it what it is. You nasty. You freaky.
No, I just wanted what I wanted and I finished. And so Then I started thinking about, "Oh my god, what if she pregnant, blah, blah, this." I'm like, "I'm in high school. I got like a restaurant job, girl. I ain't really making no money. I don't know how I wanna go to college. I wanna do things for myself. Like, why didn't I take my time?" So I'm like, "I've gotta talk to mom because I wanna make sure I have protection. So maybe this one time, maybe this one time, maybe this one time." And so we chilled for a second until she got her period, and then it was back on and popping, and by then, I had the condoms. I wasn't making that mistake again, girl. We gonna wear it. We gonna do what we gotta do, and we had fun. So anyway, I was keeping up with the count. I went ahead and bought another box because I was like, "Nope, I am not going to be in this situation again. I'm not gonna let my mom find out that I'm doing this. So I'm gonna keep that box over there and hide this other box." And I got different ones. So, it was a little different.
So when you say different ones, what did you get? Like what? Ribbed for her pleasure, ultra thin, like what did you get?
Well, these fit differently.
They fit differently. What do you mean they fit differently?
Like, they were different. Like, they wasn't the same, like, they weren't as snug.
Oh, bitch, so you would have got you some big ones thinking you. Why you didn't look at the size?
Well, I didn't really know they came in different sizes like that, you know what I'm saying? Like, when mom was helping me with them, I think she just got, like, the normal, regular. I mean, I mean, like, what you trying to say? She got regular ones. So, we went with the regular one. And so anyway, we went with the regular ones. We did our thing, and I remember the first time the first time we had copulated with the regular ones, she I think we lost one. We lost one. I don't know what happened to it. I was in it. I was doing my thing. She was doing her thing. Blah blah blah. Ding ding ding. Climactic moment. And I'm done. I'm out, and nothing. I was like, "Oh my god, where is it at? What's going on? Where is the condom?" Is what I was thinking. And so we looking around the room, we trying to find it, all of that. And we couldn't find it. We couldn't find it at all. Oh, why is your mouth open? You not gonna say nothing? You speechless? Hello? I don't like, girl. Really? All of that. So you just not gonna say nothing? Hello? Hello? Mm-mm.
I'm just trying to understand. You said you lost it. Um, you lost it. You lost what? What you lose? How did you lose it? I don't understand.
I mean, it was just gone. We looked, we looked, and we tried to find it, and we couldn't find it. And she never said if she ever found it. So if she found it, I don't know. I believe she found it. So that was scare number 2. And so, I mean, I wasn't as afraid this time around because I was like, oh my God, hopefully it's in there. And if it is, hopefully it blocked. But if you got swimmers, you got swimmers, right? So I don't think it, I don't know where it's at. To this day, I don't know.
I mean, so you say to this day, like y'all still talk? Y'all still talk?
No, we don't still talk. Um, so that went on for a while, and then I don't know how long. I'm gonna say a few months, not even a year. And I started feeling weird. Like, I don't know, it didn't feel wrong at first, but then it started feeling wrong. And then she was really becoming extra clingy, extra like we were friends and we became intimate and then we were dating. But then in my mind, she started acting really wifey ish.
Or you could have been acting real dudeish. You done got what you wanted, and now you ready to move on, and you're not interested in Laura Ingalls anymore. Like all of that could potentially be the problem.
No, I wouldn't say that. I don't think that was it. I started seeing things. So, initially I was, the friend and I thought she was just really shy and just to herself. And then she started acting differently or I started seeing things differently. And this kind of brings me back to something that my grandparents always told me. Well, my grandmother told me. She said, someone can only pretend to be something for about 6 months at latest before you start seeing little clues as to who they are or what they're about or what they're doing. So for me, I started to see different things and it wasn't, I was like, well, is she like really to herself or is there a problem? And then her mom started talking to me and she was talking to me in such a way like I was dealing with a really fragile package. Like, do not break, do not drop, you got to be extra careful. And I didn't know why she didn't have this conversation with me before. So I don't know if what she was doing at home. I just know things changed and she became real clingy. And I felt like I was in like a 3-year, 4-year marriage already. And I'm like, I'm just in high school. We still having fun. You about to go to college. Like this, there's no need in us trying to make this to be something that it ain't. And then of course, even though I'm not dating dudes, anything, I was still very much aware that I was at least bisexual. So I went through that bisexual phase.
Yeah, all of the girls go through the bisexual phase. So, ladies, for a lot of the men or trans women or trans men, when they first come out the closet, they're very, fluid. They want to be considered as bisexual. They like both. But if they're exuding a lot of more feminine qualities, they may not be bi. Well, yeah, they may not be bi. They might just be gay as two biscuits.
I wouldn't necessarily say that because there's a lot of people out there who are fluid. And just because you're feminine acting does not mean that you're necessarily gay. There's a lot of straight men out there who have a lot of feminine ways. And there's a lot of straight women with very masculine traits and personalities. So you can't really go by that. Then maybe people thought that back then. That's what made it so difficult for people to come out to be themselves authentically. But that wasn't the case. I mean, I dated her. We had a good time. I am not someone that wouldn't date women again.
But have you dated women since then? Like exclusively? Have you dated any other female since her?
I have not. I have not dated any other female since then.
So, would you say that you're more, what are you then? I mean, do you still consider yourself bisexual?
I do not. No, I know that bisexuality is ideally the ability to be able to be sexual with all genders, right? These days they've got a whole lot of other words and letters and names, but for me in that time in 1993, 94, bisexuality just meant that you had you could be with either or sexually. When it comes to a relationship long term, what I learned about myself is that long term in a relationship, what I preferred was not a woman. Although I can appreciate, I can enjoy, I understand the attraction to women. I understand why hetero men love everything about it. I was never one of those people that would be like "Oh my god, vagina, no, ew." I was like, "Oh my god, yes. Have you tried it? Like it's everything." I get it. I see why people go crazy over it. However, I also wanna go play in the tool shed. I also wanna go in there and play with the hammers and the drills and all of that too, you know? Um, so although I can appreciate both sides, I knew that primarily I was interested in men. I wanted to be in a relationship with one. I never took the opportunity to be with one before I was like 20. So, when she and I broke up, it was a very traumatic day. Like, it was traumatic. Like, I remember telling her I just wanted to be friends and all of that because things just felt really off. And she went home, and then not even an hour later, I heard this clash, like kaboom.
So she fucked up your shit, didn't she? She bust your windows out your car. She fucked you up. That's what you get.
No, that's not what happened. She threw a typewriter out of her window. Her window. Now, mind you, the only thing that separated my window and her window was 2 driveways. And our driveway was kinda up on a, what do you call it? A, retainer wall. So, we were up on a hill, so therefore, when the typewriter flew out, it flew out the window and hit, like, the retainer wall of the driveway. So, she I mean, if she woulda aimed up higher, it could have very much come up and over and into my window, but I think she just wanted to throw it out because she was upset because we had broken up.
So she threw the typewriter out the window towards your house or window. And you didn't think she was throwing it at your ass?
I did not. I think she was just upset. And then shortly after that, the ambulance came and I was trying to see what was going on. And her mom was like, "No, you stay away. I don't know what happened." And she was gone. So, yeah.
What you mean she was gone? Did they move? Like, you just, what you mean she was gone?
She was gone. Like, the next thing that I heard, I asked her mom how she was, where she was, and she told me where she was. She had to definitely get her some help. Um, she was somewhere getting the help that she needed, and her mom made sure I knew where she was, and I asked to go see her because I was definitely concerned about her. I mean, it wasn't the way that it sound like I got what I wanted and blah blah. It was over. It just wasn't. It wasn't for me, and I knew that it was more for her than it was for me, and I didn't want to keep pushing that that thought that we were going to be together because I know that's where she was going. Although people at this time was trying to tell her, like, you realize that, your boyfriend is this and that and blah blah blah, all the way down to her family and her siblings. And she was like, no, it's not that way. It's not that way. It blah blah blah. And so, to be broken up with, and then who knows what was said when she got home, like, oh, I told you this was the case and blah blah blah. And she was at her breaking point, and that's when I learned at that time that there were definitely some things, some struggles there, and it began to make sense. It began to click, like some of the erratic behavior, some of the really clingy just things that was happening was so big that it made sense that what was happening, she was suffering from some mental health challenges. And so, with me being in an industry, I don't want to get into the specifics. I want to protect that because, some people who may hear this may know who she is, and I don't want that out there. But there were some things that she had needed to deal with, and she was getting the help that she needed. And once I found out where she was, I went to see her with approval. I wanted to make sure she was ready to see me, and she was. And it was very hard to go there and see her in that place. And I wanted to make sure she was okay because let's be very clear. I cared a whole lot for her. I can't say, oh my God, I was in love. I can't say that, but I definitely love because I love people. I don't treat people any kind of way. I respect people. So if I ride with you, whether you are a friend, close friend or not, I'm definitely gonna do everything I can to protect you and the energy in your space. But I'm not malicious. But at that time, 17 years old, girl, like I had a lot of shit to figure out. And most kids and teenagers do add into the fact that I'm trying to figure out my whole sexuality on top of that while enjoying every bit of everything that we experience together. I also realized that I wasn't the only one on this ride. I wasn't the only one that was here, present, and in the moment. And I had to consider where they were headed, and what their expectations were. And I had to pull back to make sure that I managed that expectation before it had gotten too bad. And then by this time, it was already bad. Not for me, but just bad in a sense of how she was dealing with things.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say because you was really sounding like you just done put it on her and all this other stuff. I mean, you done dropped seed a couple times accidentally and all that other stuff. So she thought y'all was gonna get married, honey. Meet me at the altar in your white dress. She's gonna have her white dress on. You was gonna have your white dress on.
Everything, Shaquan, ain't a joke, girl. This is a serious moment. So let me get back to my story while you having fun over there. So she stayed in there for a while. She finally came home, and I can't recall if they moved shortly after that. I want to say that they moved after that, but she and we stayed in contact, and then I graduated, and we kind of stayed in contact. Mm-mm, no, no. She was in there for a while, and then they moved, and we stayed in contact while she was in there. And then by the time that she had gotten out of there, I was in college. I had come back home because I only stayed for a semester and came back home and finished my school. And we ain't gonna talk about that story. That's a whole nother story.
I think that should be the closer look episode 3.
I think not. I don't wanna talk about that on air. But coming back, so I came back, I decided that I was gonna enroll in school here, and I did. I was working, and going to school, and I believe I started going to hair school as well. So I was in college, hair school, and working full time. You know my hustle muscle is strong. And so we had she either reached out to me or she wrote me. I can't remember how we reconnected, but at this time she had her own place. She had moved out. She was doing well. I want to say she was going to school or maybe she was working. I'm not sure. But I was working. I didn't work far from where she lived and I wanted to see how she was doing and she was doing well. And my girl, my ass started that shit right back up. I picked up where we left off, girl. We started doing all the things, girl. I still had those condoms. They was a couple years old because I wasn't doing no with nobody else. So at this time, they was a good couple years old, girl. But they was still good. And we started picking things up, girl, and doing our thing and having fun and no moments, but we understood that we weren't dating. I think she just wanted to have the closure, and then I was still there. I still talked to her because she was I would say if we stayed friends, which I know is very hard to do once you've had, a physical relations for some people. It's hard to. It would be hard for me. If we stayed friends, she probably would be considered more of a bestie. I would think so because she knew everything. Like once I was in college and started dealing with myself, I remember when I started going into the clubs or when I on the last episode I told you guys that I went to my first gay club and my friend took me and I called her by the way, y'all. I called her. I'm gonna just quick segue. I called her. I was like, oh my God, friend. I was doing a podcast last night and I talked about you and the first time I went to the gay club and how you was like, bitch, you come in and you like sponsored me and we had a cute time. And I just want to thank you for being in my life. And I just appreciate everything that you've done for me and just being there and being my ride or die. And we talked and we caught up and I'm gonna call her back too. We talked and we caught up, and it was real cute. But at this time, while all that was going on, I had started while at the club. I gotta say this. So while out the club that night when we went out, I walked into the theater room, and that's where all the drag queens were. So we gonna pause it there because no, let me give you 10 more minutes. Let me get 10 more minutes. So that's where the drag queens were. So then I started seeing drag performers and female impersonators and things like that. And I was like, what is this? What is this?
So before then, you had never seen a cross dresser. You've never seen a female impersonator. None of
None of it. I had never seen that. And if I had, I didn't know what I was looking at. But baby, when I tell you these babies were baddies. Oh my God. So Rita Ross was the first performer that I had ever seen. And she came out and she was doing Janet Jackson. And the way her clothes fit, the way her body was, her makeup, her hair. And then you had Stephanie Wells who came out and she gave you like Pocahontas and just beauty. And then you had Robin Dupre, plus size, came out. Oh my God, I remember it like it was yesterday. These women were magnificent. It was like something came over me and it was like, wow. So not only did I experience being in a club full of my peers, people who felt for things the way that I felt for things, had the similar attractions, walked the way I walked, looked the way I looked. Then from a gay perspective. And then I walk into these double doors into this theater where it was like, it was almost like unlocking Pandora's box. So I'm seeing these people, and I remember I didn't go back out there to the dance floor. I sat there the entire night watching them in like admiration and in complete awe. And I was like, so how did they get there? Like, what happened there? And I remember staying after the show ended. I mean, my friend, of course, drugged me back out to the dance floor. And then I was like, bitch, I gotta go back in before the show ends. And so after the show end, they will come out there and kind of talk to people. And I was just sitting there. And once again, when you are new to the scene, the girls know. So if you are regular at the club, I don't care how big it is, when new meat come walking through, you see them.
What's up, new booty? You got the what's up, new booty? Yeah, we see you.
Anyway, girl, bye. But they did. They did. They saw me. And what they saw was what I didn't, well, I felt, but I didn't know. And I just talked and they talked back. And Bianca Page was the MC. And I just kept coming and I just kept coming. I kept coming. And then, the whole Halloween come, girl. Everybody want to do drag. You know how the girls do. They want to do drag. So I want to do drag. And at this time, I was going to this other club called Hideaway, and we called it Hide a Pussy. So we went to the Hideaway, and at this time, I think that I had met my friend Jessica at this time. Yes. Yes, I'd had. We had our first Pride and we met Jessica, but I'm on a pause there for a second. I'm bringing it on together. So, to show you just how long we had been friends and talking since the breakup, I had also started doing drag and performing, and she and I was still engaging sexually. I wasn't sexually with anybody else but her. Um, Still using protection and everything. And there was a couple times that she actually came and saw me perform. So, you know, it was like she was turning into this person that I could trust with a lot of things.
So she came to see her. I can't say boyfriend because I don't I don't know what you guys were, but she came to see her toy, her boo thing, her sex partner at a drag show, and her sex partner was doing drag.
Pretty much. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, she saw all that. I was in high school, she saw all that. So, when she was talking about, she got to the point to where she was like, okay, I'm supportive of all these things. And I'm thinking back on this while talking, and I'm like, wow, like the shit that you do, right? When you love somebody and you want to be involved, like the shit that you tell yourself. And so I'm thinking about all the things that when I was in a situation want to be with somebody, well, who wasn't really available to me in that way, like how I felt. And I'm envisioning her being in that situation and me being the person that she's into that's not really there where she wanted to be, and how difficult that was for her. So when she told me that she was wanting to pick things back up and she wanted us to be together, and I was like, girl, like at best, I'm bi. You know what I'm saying? Like I, I thought that was kind of understood watching everything, but she didn't catch on.
No, she got on. She just didn't want to believe it. She was willing to accept you the way you are at that moment temporarily because that's what she wanted. I mean, I don't know what she went through. I don't know what she went through, but she was really, she still wasn't quite there in her journey. So she was still making decisions. She was still making decisions that she shouldn't have made.
I can say that. I can feel that. I think that's probably so. So I didn't want things to get too out of hand. I didn't want to get too far. So I was like, whoa, listen. So at best, I'm bisexual. Like definitely much attracted to men and women, obviously, because we're in this situation. We're doing what we do. I'm not with anybody. I'm not dating anybody. However, um, I mean, I can't say that I ever won't. So I don't think we should take that far. I'm cool with things the way they are. And when I told her I was bisexual, baby, the way she looked at me and she was like, "Well, listen, I can accept a lot of things, but I can't accept that, and I'm out. Like, I don't ever want to talk to you again." And she never talked to me again. Never talked to me again.
I mean, kudos for her. Good for her for choosing her. I mean, she was only delaying the inevitable anyway, girl. Like, look at you now. Like, I don't think this is what she would want for her in her life, unless she's a lesbian. I mean, I don't think this is what she wanted. I mean, you given woman just like she is, so I'm pretty sure that's not what she wanted.
At the time, though, I was hurt. I was real hurt because I felt like this was my friend. She knew everything about she knew more about me than anybody at that time other than Anthony. Um, because even Anthony was like, "Girl, what is you doing?" Girl, like, "Are you okay?" That bitch was like, "You need to get some help." I'm like, "No, like I have a connection with her. I wanted to see how things I was still figuring things out, but once again, I understand she had to make the best decision for her. And to be honest with you, watching people move today and watching people not make the decisions that makes best sense for them, I commend her. Like kudos. My heart was hurt, my feelings was crushed. Felt like I would never let anybody in that close to fully know who I am because they wouldn't love and accept me unconditionally other than my mom because that's the only one that was still there. I remember, regardless of what, she was still there. And it was a hard thing for her to deal with too. I mean, it was never, like I said, it was never like she didn't love me, but she had to make adjustments and she did the work. And I forevermore grateful and in love with her for that. My mom, I love my mom. And so that's what she did. And her leaving me I already had a sense of, abandonment just because of other things in my life, and maybe that'll be in another closer look. We got a whole bunch of closer look opportunities for shows. But at this point in my life, though, it was like, oh, so I never dated another female. Had opportunities, but I was like, really, I don't think I really like me like that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, the dudes get it, the girls not so much. So I understood. And she never talked to me again. I remember what really brought it. So, and then I'm gonna end it. Me and Anthony was at a show. They used to have these concerts at Starwood Amphitheater here in Nashville. And it was an outdoor concert arena, and they had like seats and then they had grass seats. And the place that I worked for, they would get tickets to it. So I would always get tickets to the shows. We was at the show with the Fugees. And so by this time, I was doing drag and all that stuff. So I was very much exercising my feminine side. And she knew that. She witnessed it. Shit. She saw it. She saw all that. But her brother saw me and my best friend and went back and told her and was like, this is what your whatever was out here doing, blah, blah, looking like this, that, and other, and just looking a mess and blah, blah, blah. And I told you this, that, and other. And that's when she told me about it, and I was like, "Okay, but that's like, what's up? You've been at shows, like, what?" And then she said, "Are you gay?" And I was like, "Wait, are you really asking this question?" I'm like, I'm bi at best, at least. That's how that came out. I was kinda wondering how we got to that situation. And I was like, "I'm bi at best." She's like, "So are you, like, dating men?" I'm like, "I'm not." But I could also understand from her perspective now why she wouldn't put herself at risk because you don't know. But then I was like, I was very honest about everything with her. Like, if I'm not lying about doing drag, I'm not lying about going to gay clubs, I'm not lying about who I am. Why would I lie about this? But once again, like, I don't know. And so she just cut me off, baby. She cut me off like a tag on new clothes, baby, and threw my ass away and never looked back. And I was hurt by that shit, and I was like, "Okay." Well, I moved on, and I was mad at her for a while. But picture it, last year, year before last, because it would have been a year, December 2021. So December 2020, when I went to Vegas, guess who sent me a friend, not request, but message on Facebook? It was her. And she was like, "Hey, glad to see that you're doing well." I'm like, "Glad that you see that you're doing well." She talked about, I think she said she has a child and that her and her husband got a divorce and all this other stuff. And I remember reaching out to her probably 10 years, maybe, before that text message from her on Facebook Messenger, and she never responded. So all of a sudden you responding 10 years later. So you had the message and you kept it there and you never said anything. So then I was sitting in Vegas, and that was when my friends, like Pooh was there and my sister was there. And I was like, why now? Like it put me in a space. Ugh. It put me in a space, and I was just real weirded out by it because I was like, "Why now?" And then I was angry, like, "Don't come talking to me now, like, go on, like, bye, roll out, like, we're not doing that." And great for you, glad things are going well for you, things are going great for me, like, you can't, and I may be wrong for feeling that way, but you can't.
Okay, so listen, I feel that you getting a bit emotional. I'm gonna hand you your plate back to you and your food so you can eat. I want you to be hangry on the show. But thank you so much for this. I think this is cool because I feel that you're getting a little, let's keep that energy where it needs to be. So thank you for having me on the show. I appreciate that. And look, this was cute. I think I have a lot of questions for the next episode. So listen, y'all, thank you so much. This is your girl Shaquansha. It's back to you, Savon.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate you, for rolling with me, girl. Y'all, I apologize if this got a little heavy, but I wanted to this closer look series is just that. It's taking a closer look into me. It's a reflection for me. It's an online journal for me to process things, and I'm having a lot of aha moments as I sit here because I'm like, wow, like I know how I felt when I was really into someone and they didn't reciprocate those feelings. And now I'm understanding where she was at the time on top of the whole sexuality and what can I offer versus can't offer and just all of that. So, yeah, this is a lot to have unpacked, but y'all, we did it. We did it. So we're gonna wrap it up. Thank you guys for joining us, and I hope you comment on this podcast wherever you are streaming your podcast and like and share it. If you feel like somebody can take this and listen to it and be a blessing or entertaining to them, good or bad, girl. It is what it is when you put shit out here in the atmosphere. Send it to them. If you would like to correspond with me, you can reach me at the Savon Experience at gmail.com. Me and your girl Shaquansha, and y'all, we out.